Someone just died in your tribe. No hospital, no funeral home, no coffin, no priest, just you, your tribe, and a dead body. What do? What ancient humans did with their dead will completely change how you think about death forever. Death is something every human has faced since the beginning of time, but the way ancient humans handled it was nothing like what we do today. No death certificates, no embalming, no burial services charging thousands of dollars. Just raw, honest, deeply human rituals that actually made a lot more sense than you might think. Today we're going to walk through exactly what happened when someone died in an ancient human tribe, and some of it will genuinely shock you. The moment someone died in an ancient tribe, everything stopped. Every single member of the tribe gathered immediately. No one went off alone. No one kept hunting or gathering. Because in ancient times, death wasn't just a personal loss. It was a community event. The body was never left alone, not even for a minute. Ancient humans believed the spirit of the dead person was still nearby, watching, waiting. So, someone always stayed with the body. Always. And the first thing the tribe did? They talked to the dead person. Not about them. To them. They explained what was happening. They said goodbye out loud. They asked for protection and guidance. To ancient humans, death wasn't the end of a relationship. It was just a change in it. After the initial mourning came the preparation. And this is where things get really interesting. Different ancient tribes across the world did very different things. Some tribes painted the body in red ochre, a natural red pigment made from clay. Why red? Because red was the color of blood, the color of life. Painting a dead body red was their way of giving life back symbolically. Archaeologists have found bodies painted in red ochre dating back over 100,000 years. 100,000 years of the same ritual. Think about that. Other tribes carefully positioned the body in a curled fetal position, arms tucked in, knees pulled up, like a baby in the womb. Why? Because they believed death was like going back to the beginning, ready to be reborn. The fetal position burial is one of the most common ancient burial positions found worldwide, on every single continent. Different cultures, different languages, different beliefs, but somehow the same idea. Death as a return to the beginning. Now, here's something that will genuinely surprise you. Ancient humans didn't just dig a hole and dump the body in. They were incredibly careful and intentional about burial. Many ancient graves have been found with flowers placed on the body, flowers that were deliberately chosen. Not just any flowers. Specific medicinal plants and healing herbs were placed with the dead. Why? Because ancient humans believed the dead needed medicine too, for the journey ahead. Some graves contained food and tools, weapons for hunting, cooking stones, animal bones, everything the dead person might need in the next world. Ancient humans genuinely believed death was just a journey to another place, not an ending, a journey. And you don't send someone on a long journey without supplies. Now think about this for a second. We think of ancient humans as primitive, unsophisticated. But they were burying their dead with supplies for the afterlife. While modern humans are still arguing about what happens after death, ancient humans didn't argue about it. They just prepared for it. Some of the most touching ancient graves found by archaeologists contained personal items. A favorite stone, a carved bone, a shell necklace, things that meant something to that specific person. Evidence of love that survived 100,000 years. Let that sink in. 100,000 years ago, someone placed a flower on a grave. Someone carved a small object and placed it with someone they loved. Someone positioned a body carefully, with their hands folded, facing the sunrise. These weren't primitive actions. These were deeply human ones. The same actions we still take today at every funeral around the world. We haven't changed as much as we think we have. Ancient humans also marked graves, large stones, painted rocks, carved symbols. So, the dead could be found again, so they could be visited, so they could be talked to. The concept of a gravestone, is literally as old as humanity. Different continents, different tribes, different languages, same instinct. Remember where we came from. Honor those who came before us. But what about the grief? How did ancient humans actually feel about losing someone? The same way you do. Studies of ancient burial sites show clear evidence of genuine grief. Bodies held in arms even after death, hands clasped together, bodies buried facing specific directions, toward the sunrise, toward new beginnings. Ancient humans cried, they wailed, they mourned loudly. There was no be strong culture, no don't cry in public, no they're in a better place now. Grief was expressed fully and openly by everyone in the tribe. Men cried, women cried, children cried. No one was told to hold it together. And here's what's powerful about that. Modern psychology now tells us that expressing grief openly and collectively is actually the healthiest way to process loss. Ancient humans figured that out 100,000 years before therapists did. The tribe mourned together for days, sometimes weeks. No one grieved alone. No one was told to move on. No one was given a 3-day bereavement allowance and sent back to work. Think about how brutal that is by comparison. Someone you love dies on Monday. You get 3 days. Back at your desk by Thursday. Ancient humans would have found that genuinely horrifying. In ancient tribes, the whole community stopped. Hunting could wait. Gathering could wait. Someone they loved had died. Nothing was more important than that. The dead person's name was spoken constantly, keeping their memory alive. Their stories were retold, their jokes remembered, their skills honored. Some tribes had specific mourning rituals, cutting hair as a sign of grief, wearing certain colors, painting faces in specific patterns. These weren't superstitions. They were ways of telling the world, I am grieving, I am in pain, I need your support. And the tribe always responded, no one grieved alone. That was the rule, not a written rule, not a law, just a deeply human understanding that grief shared is grief made survivable. Modern research backs this completely. People who grieve in community recover faster, experience less depression, feel less alone. Ancient humans knew this without any research. They just knew it in their bones, because humans were never designed to grieve alone. We were designed to grieve together, the way ancient tribes did for hundreds of thousands of years, before we built walls between us, before we started closing our doors, before we started grieving in private, alone, in silence. Ancient humans would look at how we grieve today, and they would feel sorry for us. After the burial came something surprisingly beautiful, a feast. The whole tribe ate together in honor of the dead person. Their favorite foods if possible. Their favorite stories definitely. This wasn't sad. It was a celebration of a life that actually happened. A real human who hunted with them, who sat around their fire, who made them laugh. Some tribes kept small objects from the dead person, carrying them as a reminder that the person was still with them. The concept of keeping something to remember someone by is literally as old as humanity itself, and some ancient tribes believed the dead watched over the living, guiding hunts, warning of danger, protecting children. Death didn't remove someone from the tribe, it just changed their role in it. So here's what really gets me about all of this. Modern death costs thousands of dollars. The average American funeral costs between $7,000 and $12,000. We've turned death into an industry. Ancient humans turned it into a community experience. No cost, no industry, just people taking care of people. And the ancient way actually aligns almost perfectly with what modern grief counselors recommend. Express grief openly. Gather your community. Celebrate the life. Keep the memory alive. Don't grieve alone. Ancient humans had grief figured out better than modern civilization. Without therapists, without funeral homes, without death certificates, just pure human instinct. So, next time you lose someone, maybe the most advanced thing you can do is grieve the ancient way. If this changed how you think about death and ancient life, next week we're going deeper. How did ancient humans handle something even more difficult than death? Mental illness. Subscribe so you don't miss it. And comment below. Do you think ancient humans handled death better than we do? I'll see you next week.